Welcome to another edition of Know Your Schools on WISD TV. My name is Dale Caffey. My special guest today is Phillip Morgan. He is the Director of Fine Arts at Waco ISD and entering his third year in that position. Time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. It's been a wonderful 3 years, or 2 years, I guess, going into year three. But like you said, it's been very fast. A lot of progress, a lot of wonderful successes, but also a lot of change. But yes, you're correct. Those 2 years have flown.
Well, we are going to get into some of those successes in just a moment, but just to recap for the viewers at home, tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you come from, and how you ended up in Waco, Texas.
Certainly. I actually started my educational career in a very small 1A school out in East Texas called Yantis High School. Went to the Yantis ISD system and graduated with about 26 other people. One of the few in my class to go into college. I'm a first generation college graduate, rather. Very supportive parents, which I attribute most everything to. They're pretty fantastic. A very supportive grandmother as well, and grandfather, who always encouraged me to learn. And I fell in love with fine arts and athletics, actually. One of the few probably fine arts directors that absolutely loves athletics and loves working with them, loves supporting kids. I was an athlete in high school, also did one-act play and speech and debate, and kind of fell in love with UIL and fine arts through that venue. And then after college, went on and took a scholarship at Paris Junior College in North Texas, finished a degree there, and then went on to UT Arlington in the Metroplex, and began my teaching career as a theater educator in Irving ISD at MacArthur High, and stayed there for a couple of years as the speech and drama teacher. And then once I pursued my master's degree in Colorado at JIU online, finished my degree there and went on to teach at Tarrant County College, was a speech and debate director there, and did a lot of the theater individual events. And at that point, I had some connections to the state of Texas and some friends of friends, and found out about the Waco ISD position and really missed kind of K-12, just the whole process, because colleges are often strapped and don't really have the opportunity to really support fine arts programs as well as they should, in my opinion. But Waco does. And so I applied for the position and was honored, got an interview and took the position, and it's been all super fast and growth from there.
And a lot of growth and a lot of successes so far. We're going to talk about one-act play and on-stage theater in just a moment, but talk about the other things that you bring to the district. You have to oversee orchestra, band, all sorts of things. Talk about some of the successes in those areas.
Indeed. Well, I remember a couple years ago when I first came on, that was kind of one of the bigger challenges, was that it's not just a theater situation, although my background happens to be a lot in theater and to some degree vocal music with musicals and things like that. But I also love music. I've been a guitarist for 17 years and love percussion, love drums. So when I took this position, one of the big challenges I wanted to ensure was that the kids, not only in one or two areas of fine arts, were taken care of financially through the budget and had the equipment that they needed, but that I couldn't ask them for 100% of the results if I didn't give them equally 100% of the abilities and supplies they needed to get there. So just in the past 2 years, I know that we had successes in the past, but some of the things that have happened in the last 2 years, first and foremost, our orchestras at our middle school levels have really been successful in contests, specifically at Tennyson and Cesar Chavez. We have two really fantastic orchestra teachers, David Weigert and Valerie Clem, who have been working with us and working with those students. We've seen some sweepstakes honors, which is first divisions across the board in concert and sight reading. We've had a lot of involvement with the community, not only in strings, but also in band. Last year, Waco High's band took first divisions in marching, which was fantastic. University High School's band also produced a lot in marching contests, doing a little bit better, succeeding, and we actually had the bands qualify for area, which was fantastic. They also did very well in UIL concert and sight reading, which made me very proud. Straight ones in the concert setting, which shows us that our kids are understanding and becoming very strong student musicians, but also growing in sight reading, something I know that we need in the district too. Sight reading is a little bit more complicated when you just put music in front of them, they have to read. But they're getting better, and we're really building a team, which is what my ultimate goal was. I got to build a team of fine arts educators that are not only colleagues, campus to campus, but also buy into the overall vision of fine arts, which is getting our students to be more successful, following those required TEKs, and being able to give them opportunities in competition. So I believe I've covered orchestra and band. Art, we had our first state champion this year at Waco High School. Joel Colosimo, who is one of the art teachers over there, sponsored one of our vase students, Joseph Chung, and he took a gold medal at the state vase competition, which is a first for the campus, and I believe first for the district as well. But very proud of our visual artists, again, trying to grow that program. Choir has been fantastic at both campuses. It's kind of had a tradition for years at Waco High. post Florence Scattergood and now Carrie Forehand and her team, and it's growing, winning sweepstakes, also getting scholarships in choir. Pam Bridges and Lucy Murphy have worked very hard here in the choir department at University High School to build a program really from something that was non-existent in the last couple of years to something that is now going to UIL, that is taking excellent ratings. Students, actually we had a TMEA All-Academic Scholar this year here at UHS, one of our singers, and just some fantastic success. I would say that, in the classroom it's critical. But one of the biggest successes that I've seen is not just happening in the classroom, it's that some of our student singers from Waco High and University are taking full vocal scholarships to McLennan Community College. So their first 2 years of school are paid. And to me, that is the cake. UIL trophies are icing, but getting a student to really move forward with their future and getting it paid for through fine arts, something that they love and they're passionate about, that was really a winner. So I think I've covered all of them except for theater, coincidentally. And we've had a lot of successes in theater as well. Waco High advanced last year, my first year, to the area level, and University for the first time in school history advanced. They were the district champions, and they've had the best actress 2 years in a row now. And they advanced to area for the first time this year with a great show. And Glenn Price and Kaylin Childress have done a great job. We've actually added a technical theater teacher over at Waco High School in Corey Garrett, who's been doing an excellent job building up those classes as well. So we're growing. We're growing a lot, not only at the high school, but also at the middle school and elementary level.
And you remember it all so well.
Well, I mean, that was my vision. I mean, you really, I don't believe you can truly get where you need to go unless you do have that vision. And for me, winning is great. We collect all the data on how we're doing because somebody once asked me, what do you think about our district? And I said, well, I can tell you what I think about your district, but that's really not fair. Show me your data. Let me look at what you're doing, and I can tell you exactly what's happening.
Right.
And for us, I know, we know now where we're supposed to be, where our goals are, and where we were, and that we're moving forward. We got some areas that we have to work on, especially at the middle school level too, really building a good strong feeder pattern of students and also teachers, because when kids see and students see that the middle school instructors really wonderfully connect with their high school instructors, it's this beautiful feeder pattern of this vertical alignment, and the kids stay in it 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then it's a no-brainer. They go right up into 9th grade, and we really build our programs that way. So.
One of the things that we're very proud of is a tradition really that Dr. Kane started 3 years ago, and that is the musical. Whether it's in the late wintertime or the early springtime, it's usually either in December or January, but a campus musical. 2 years in a row it was at Waco High School. This past year it was University High School, and how delightful was that? You mentioned trying to get the fine arts programs going at both high schools, and the progress that University High School has made is phenomenal. It
truly is. And I know that the first year it was a little bit shaky because taking on a musical, as we're on that topic, it's not easy, and I'm sure most people, it goes without saying, they hear musical and think, oh, that's really fun. Well, it is fun, but when you think about the cross-collaborative effort between a theater program, a choir program, at some point even orchestra and band in the future, really putting everybody together so you have your actors, your musicians, your theater technicians, all of your singers, your vocalists, even musicians from Baylor in the area that we bring in to do some of these shows. And it truly is a blessing to our students because normally they don't get that opportunity. And I've even seen some junior colleges who don't have the opportunity to have a stage like this or just the ability to perform in a venue like this. And so it's a huge advantage for our students, but it is hard. But very proud. That's one of my biggest accomplishments. Very happy with our choir and our theater departments and the efforts that they've made in that rotation. And I'm thankful to Dr. Kane and the board for supporting fine arts, but mainly for giving them that opportunity to put on a musical because our community loves it, our students love it, our elementaries and middles love it. It's a great thing. And speaking of musicals, we're going to, on this show, of course, we'll plug it more and more as it gets more near, but let's talk about this year's musical, which returns to Waco High School. It does, yes. It will return back to Waco High this year. We've actually been planning this for quite some time. The fierce debates, which are a positive professional debates between myself and the theater and choir instructors and band, to choose the musical. And this year we wanted to give the students, having done Into the Woods year before last at Waco High School, and then having come over here for Little Shop of Horrors, trying to change kind of the avenue of the show that we do. We want to explore more with costuming and also make it, I guess, popish enough for the students to still dig it and enjoy it and be auditioning and be interested in it. So they've chosen to do Tarzan. the musical, which is fantastic on all fronts. When you think Tarzan, you usually don't think Phil Collins unless you've seen the Disney version,
right.
which is what we're going to be working off of, that actual libretto. And it's got some really good music. In my terms, when I talk to the kids, it's got some hot music in it. It's really good. It's very pop heavy, but also, if you like Phil Collins, it's a great musical for kids to get involved in. It's fun. It's jungle kind of theme, but also has some really touching moments, and it'll expand our actors, our vocalists, and our student musicians this year.
And is it scheduled, I believe, late December this year?
It's going to be probably more into, I'd say, mid to late January, I think is where they're going to set it, right before the Texas Educational Theater Association conference. We're trying not to conflict with that too, but knowing what both schools are preparing for, plus being respectful to our bands so that they have time to go to marching contests, we want all the students to be able to be involved, even if they're not in theater or choir. It's an all-school musical, so anybody who's just in history class and happens to love that story could still get involved, or maybe a literature student. We want to open the doors to all of our students to let them be involved. So,
well, you'll be hearing more about Tarzan at Waco High School in the months to come. Recently, you received a great honor too as our Director of Fine Arts, and it's at the state level. Why don't you share that with our viewers?
Well, thank you, first of all. I'm very honored. I really, for years, especially when you're a student, I guess you have certain dreams. I guess some athletes one day hope to be able to be a wonderful coach. In fine arts, you hope to be a great director, maybe professional director at some time. In Texas, we have this wonderful system called UIL. And One Act Play is this wonderful competition that I've been involved in since I was a student at Yanis High. And on into college when I worked as kind of a stage crew tech in college. It was a blast. But I've been an adjudicator with the what used to be the Texas Educational Theater Association Adjudicators Organization, and I've been an adjudicator now for I believe 6 or 7 years. On the spot, I'm trying to think exactly how long it's been, quite a while. But I've judged at the zone and district level, and then last year I was qualified to judge the area region level. And this year I got a telephone call that I'm actually honored to serve on the panel for the state meet for Conference 2A, which for me, the reason I give all that back information is because even as a student, I dreamed about what it would be like first to be a judge, and then wow, how amazing would it be to achieve the goal of being able to be selected as a state adjudicator. And very honored to be able to do that this year for Conference 2A.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And on a personal note, you're now a father.
Indeed. I'm a father to a beautiful little girl. My wife Angela and I welcomed our sweet little Julia in on May 7th of last year too. So amidst state solo and ensemble and One Act Play and everything taking place, yes, we did welcome her, and she is actually doing very well right now.
Very good.
We're happy and blessed to have her home for the summertime and spending time with her, which has been a huge blessing. So a lot of things have happened in 2 years.
Well, I'll ask you this. What do you do in your spare time?
Oh, what's that? Actually, I've been spending a lot of time at home with my wife and my daughter. We spent a lot of time up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where some of my wife's family is, and then had a lot of family from my side come into town too. But honestly, I like to record music in my spare time. I like to kind of keep up with everybody. This sounds really nerdy, but I like to kind of keep up with friends on Facebook who are across the state, talk to other fine arts directors and pick their brain and see what they're doing that might spur an idea for us. But really just getting ready for this year has been kind of my spare time thing. I'm sneaking up on Saturdays and knocking out some hiring and just preparing for the year. I know that we've got a lot of things on the horizon next year, and we've got some really good staff in place. So getting them ready and fired up and trying to think of creative things to do on the side is really taking up a lot of my spare time too.
Well, I know one of the reasons, and one of the main reasons that Phillip Morgan was chosen for the job as Fine Arts Director is the energy that you bring to this position. I get excited just hearing you and hearing you talk about this new year, and you're excited as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have, this is not an advancing year for marching band, which for me as a competitive person is a bit of a downer, but it's still a competitive year for us because they're still going to go to marching contest. Midway ISD is actually hosting it at Panther Stadium this year. So very excited about marching band, excited about our new staff members and where they're going to be going. This year we're going to go full competition in UIL at the middle school level for One Act Play. So they'll abide by all the UIL rules. Last year we did a festival to kind of introduce the new program. And now this year that they kind of have their feet under them and they're ready to go, we're going to actually put them in. We may actually compete either in the Killeen area, or we may even go north a little bit to try to pick up some other schools to allow their junior highs to come in and compete with us. So it's an actual UIL contest, and they kind of feel what it's like. But this year's very exciting with the musical, all kinds of things on the horizon. Some of our fine arts, side note, are actually participating in a thing called Waco Wonderland. which last year they participated a little bit in. We just kind of integrated it and introduced it in the first year. This year we're going to have a lot of our visual artists decorating downtown with a lot of the glass space and a lot of the businesses downtown. We'll also have some of our theater and choir and band students coming in performing too. So a lot of things on the horizon. Very excited, and it takes a lot of energy. So
another thing I want to mention too, you mentioned Joseph Chung a moment ago and his award-winning vase piece that won state. It's featured on our Waco ISD calendar this year.
Indeed, and we were very honored, so was he, very honored to see that. A lot of times, and this just kind of goes with the program, a lot of times performing arts get a lot of the media, so to speak. Like you see a theater, it's easy to recognize them and see them because they're performing, or band, they're performing a big concert. But our visual arts students, sometimes they perform, and by their performance it's submitting their art.
Right.
And then it gets jured, and that's kind of it unless they do get pressed. So we were very honored by the communications department and Waco ISD to have that featured on there. That work that he did of the parrot is absolutely beautiful.
It is.
And took, I can't imagine how long in terms of detail, but it's so well done and well recognized at state level. I'm proud, first state champion, very excited for him and his coach.
Very good. Phillip Morgan, always a pleasure to have you.
Absolutely.
And best of luck on this year.
Thank you.
This is our Director of Fine Arts, Phillip Morgan, and thank you for watching Know Your Schools on WISD TV.